Veera Savarkar, The Story of a Rebellion. Today we all have assembled for the release of this book. Before moving forward, I would like to congratulate Dr. S.J. Surya, the author of this book, who has filled up the biggest blank in Tamil literature as far as freedom struggle and nationalist movement is concerned. During our school days, usually in question paper we fill up the blanks. We keep filling up the blanks for the sake of marks. But Surya has filled up this blank for the sake of the country, for the sake of the society, and for the sake of the movement. Earlier also he had written books about Veer Savarkar, but that was more of a translated version. This time he has written an elaborate book, literature regarding Veer Savarkar, 360-degree view on Veer Savarkar's legacy, his efforts, and whatever the work he has done in his lifetime. So at the outset, I would like to congratulate Dr. S.J. Surya for filling up the biggest blank in the nationalist literature, freedom struggle movement literature in Tamil literature. The Chennai Citizen Forum President, Sri K.T. Raghavanji, who is presiding today's function. At a time, the storm and the gentle breeze in Tamil Nadu politics, Annamalai avargale, Coimbatore North MLA, and the national level leader of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Srimati Vanati Srinivasan, two stalwarts of Tamil media, Tamil Nadu media, Kolahala Srinivasan and Chanakya Rangaraj Pandey, who have shown to the world what it means for real media world is. And the author of the book, Dr. S.J. Surya himself. All the elders who have assembled here to bless S.J. Surya, to bless the book, and to bless this nationalist movement. All the people who have assembled here over reverence for all the freedom fighters, including Veer Savarkar. All the young people who have come here with the interest and curiosity to know who this Veer Savarkar is. And dear friends from the print, visual and digital media who have assembled here, I offer my pranam to everyone on the stage and off the stage also. It is a little bit irony that in the 75th year of Indian independence, still we have to write a book on Veer Savarkar to show what he contributed to the freedom struggle. When Annamalai told you have to be open-minded, that is the irony of Indian post-independence days, is that everything in post-independence India, it is being seen through a colored glass. The color may be different at different stages, but everything is viewed about the freedom struggle and about the national movements, nationalist movement, national heroes, everything through colored glass. It is because of the trick that is played with the history by the authors and sponsors of Tryst with Destiny. They played a very bad trick with the history. So, you have to search for Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's name and photo in Chennai when you travel around for 50, 60 long years. If you travel also, it is very difficult to find any Subhash Nagar or Subhash Saleh or Subhash Bus Stand or Subhash Airport or Subhash Railway Station. In your dreams also, we can never find Vinayak Damodar Savarkar Bus Stand, Vinayak Damodar Savarkar this thing, that you can never find it. Even in your dreams also, you can never find it. We are not jealous of anything, but overdose of many things create some doubt. When every second road is named after Nehru, every second road is named after Indira, every third road is named after Rajiv Gandhi, and every fourth road is supposedly named after Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi, it is an irony that you have to search for Subhash Chandra Bose's name, you have to search for the Veer Savarkar's name, you have to search for Sardar Patel's name. This is the irony of independent India. When our compeer of the program, she was asking questions, I was just observing. It was not wondering to me, because when he asked many of the questions, she asked for an address, she asked for some date, and it was hardly one or two murmurings came up. Why? This is the trick that is being played with history by the sponsors of Tryst with Destiny. This is the trick that has been played over a period of last 75 years. An ecosystem which was built sponsor, the ecosystem which was formed, and the ecosystem which is there even today. They painted Indian history, they painted Indian freedom struggle in a particular color that will suit them. That will suit them. They went on painting it. So, very less of Bhagat Singh our people have learnt about, heard about. Very less of Chandrasekhar Azad we have learned. Madanlal Dhingra, it is some alien name to us. VVS Iyer, it is some alien name to us. Nilakanta Dikshit, it is some alien name to us. And we were made to believe that we got freedom only because a particular kind of movement and a particular set of leaders. Yeah, that movement is also very respectable. Yes, those leaders are also what we call Pratasmaraniya. You have to remember them every day. We don't deny it. We don't deny it. That particular movement has also got its own significant place in the Indian history, India's freedom struggle. But that doesn't mean that Veer Savarkar can be relegated to the margins of the freedom struggle history. It cannot be, and it can never be done. With people like Surya, you can never relegate Veer Savarkar to the margins of India's freedom struggle. You can never do it. Veer Savarkar was not a Upadhi or the synonym it was given to Savarkar by a government or Maharashtra government or Indian government. It is people like you, the patriots like you, who told Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, Veer Savarkar. It was not out of only reverence. It was not because of a fan following, or it was not because of some lobby. It was given by common people. Why? He was the first person who started burning the foreign clothes. He started the movement against the foreign clothes, a symbolic movement against the foreign clothes. He was the first person. He was a person whose book was banned in two foreign countries, Britain and France, before it got published or before it reached the shores of Britain. He was a person whose book 1857, the first war of independence, was banned. He wrote it in England. It was banned in India. He was the first person whose book Hind Swaraj was also banned. You would not find many people whose three big works would have been banned. And his work on Mazzini, it was also banned in Britain. He was the first person. Many people got the degree, but he lost the degree that he had got because of the punishment. He discarded the barrister degree that he got it. He didn't take it at all. When the British government and the British court sentenced him to 25 years punishment, he told, I will not accept the British court. He was the first political prisoner who stated on the floor of the court that I will not accept this court at all. You can send me to any jail, but I will not accept this court at all because you have come and occupied our land illegally and you are pronouncing a sentence against me who is struggling for the independence of this country. He was the first political prisoner who argued his case in the International Court of Justice, Hague, when he told that I was arrested in France. I was taken by the British police in France, which is illegal, but of course, International Court of Justice, then also it doesn't have a teeth and now also it doesn't have a teeth. It didn't. He was the first person who did it. And he was the first person who was sentenced for 2 life sentences. 2 life sentences. By a government which did not believe in Punarjanma at all. By a government which was followed by the faith, which doesn't believe in Punarjanma at all, they lived 2 life imprisonment. He was the first person. And he was the first person whose name doesn't even figure in Indian school textbook when you read about the freedom struggle. When you read about the freedom struggle. Who was this Veer Savarkar? Why was he pushed to the margins of the history of the freedom struggle? That is a very important thing. Because in India, over a period of last 75 years, a particular ecosystem has made 3 generations, 4 generations of our countrymen to believe that, as I told earlier, freedom was got only because of a set of leaders or only because of a type of movement. Only because of a type of movement in which Subramanya Bharatiyar doesn't exist, Swami Vivekananda doesn't exist, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa doesn't exist, VVS Iyer doesn't exist, Chandrasekhar Azad doesn't exist, Veer Damodar Savarkar doesn't exist, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose doesn't exist, Sardar Patel marginalized. Continue. You can tell hundreds of names because it doesn't suit them. The kind of struggle put in by the rebellion, the kind of struggle put in by the revolutionaries, the kind of dedication that was given to that struggle, the kind of samarpan, the sacrifice that was being done by those people, it didn't suit certain kind of people who had a easy going through the freedom struggle. In some roundtable conferences, in some negotiations with the British, and some non-harming agitation, it doesn't suit such people. So post-independence, a particular kind of narrative was said where we were made to believe that only because of this we got a freedom struggle. Again, I am telling you, we revere them. They have our respect. We have respect toward the way the freedom movement was conducted, but this should not be relegated to the margins of India, freedom history. Here was Veer Savarkar, 3 brothers. He was in freedom struggle and he couldn't come back to house for the fear of getting arrested. His younger brother, he was arrested and kept in jail. And one day, his elder brother also got arrested. Only Veer Savarkar was free, but he also could not come to home. His sister-in-law, Annie Yesuvahini, his sister-in-law Yesuvahini writes a letter for him telling that your younger brother is already arrested for last 1 year. Your elder brother, means her husband, your elder brother is got also arrested couple of days back. Nobody is there to look after the home, so please you look after the home. This was a letter written by Yesuvahini. Just imagine the kind of situation 100 years ago. Almost 100 years, more than 100 years ago. His sister-in-law Annie, she writes a letter, at least you look after her. He was already married. And his sister-in-law writes, what is the answer of Vinayak Damodar Savarkar? This is the hard nuts who got us freedom, independence from Britishers. He writes, Yesuvahini, we are only 3 We are only 3 and our mother has offered all of us to the service of Bharat Mata. If there were 7 brothers, I think my mother would have offered all 7 brothers for the freedom struggle. Not only 3, she would have offered all 7 brothers. It is there are many lotuses in the pond, but not all lotuses are considered as pavitra or sacred. Only that lotus which is picked up by the Gajendra or the elephant and which is offered at the lotus feet of the Shiva, that is considered sacred. And we feel that all 3 brothers are sacred because our life has been offered in the service of Bharat Mata. If 7 would have been there, all 7 would have been offered by our mother to the service of Bharat Mata. And we feel that we have been offered and that is our punya. And he tells at the sentence, we haven't plunged into this struggle unknowingly or because of some external influence. Knowingly, what would be the result? What is the toll that would take? We have jumped into this freedom struggle. And I hope you will excuse me and I hope you will support me. This is the letter written by Veer Damodar Savarkar to his sister-in-law. This is the kind of life they had it. It was not easy going. He was picked up in Britain, tried to escape through France water, but again picked up in Marseille. He was brought to Mumbai. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. He was taken to Andaman. It has been explained in detail by Annamalai sir. You should just visit once, like he told, with open mind. Without getting into any ideological dogma, you should just visit there. The kind of cell that was there. The location of the cell, it was just above the gallows. Wantedly put in that barrack. Wanted 11 full years. Just imagine 11 full years. Then come to clemency petition. 3 days of arrest would have made many people. You have seen many politicians in our country. Whenever there is a contempt or some case, they go and they bow silently. They allegate in public, in press conferences, but they go and apologize in the court silently. Then let us talk about clemency petition that is being talked about. 11 years. Full 11 years. Then brought to Ratnagiri, there again 3 years of imprisonment. Then under house arrest for 13 years. 13 plus 3, 16 plus 11, 27 years. The longest jail imprisonment for any freedom fighter in our country, that is Veer Savarkar. He was there in jail for 27 long years. 27 long years. He was put in a particular barrack just above the gallows so that he could hear the cries of people who have been put in gallows every day. Every day. Day in and day out in Andaman Cellular Jail, our freedom fighters were put to gallows. But the cries every year Savarkar. The kind of breakdown the Britishers and the jailer expected with Veer Savarkar, it never happened. It never happened. The wish of breakdown of Savarkar, which was wished by the Britisher, it never happened. So after 11 years, they brought him to Ratnagiri after knowing that this man can never be broken up. This man's spirit can never be broken up because he was made of steel. He was made of steel. I will just read you a couple of sentences that he wrote as part of his Veera Diksha poem. As a writer, as a poet, he was a person par excellence. The kind of emotions that were there in whatever he wrote. He writes a poem, he writes a verse in Marathi when he was in Andaman. When he was in, I will just read it. You don't need to understand Marathi to feel the significance of it. You don't need to understand Marathi. He matrubhumi tujala manavahi ele. He matrubhumi tujala manavahi ele vaktritva vag vibhavahi tuja arpi ele tu techi arpili navi kavita rasala lekha prati vishaya tuchi ananya jhala. I have sacrificed everything, my writing skill, my speaking skill, everything I have offered to you. Everything I have offered to you. Tvatsandili dakalili grihavitta matta dava nalanta bahini navaputra kanta. On the sacrificing table of yours, I have sacrificed my wife, my son, my family, the whole family I have sacrificed it. Tvatsandili dakalili grihavitta matta dava nalanta bahini navaputra kanta. The same Veer Savarkar who wrote to the sister-in-law telling that if we had 7 brothers, then all 7 would have been offered to the seva of Bharat Mata by our mother. You should feel proud of our family. This was the sentence he tells us. Tvatsandili atula dairya varishta bandhu. Every relative we have offered it. This is the kind of sacrifice Veer Savarkar he showed to the world. He showed to the world. India's freedom struggle, it did not come very easily. India's freedom was not conducted in a way that we imagine now today that it is only because of the non-cooperation movement that we got independent movement. No. A person like Madan Lal Dhingra, who was inspired by Veer Savarkar. He was a go-getter, enjoying person, Madan Lal Dhingra in London. He comes from a very well-off family from Punjab. He had been for studying in London. He comes in contact with Veer Savarkar. Whoever came in contact with Veer Savarkar, they became revolutionaries. Whoever. It may be while going to London, Harnam Singh, who was his fellow traveler, or a young person like Madan Lal Dhingra. He shot dead Karjan Wiley in London. And he didn't escape Madan Lal Dhingra. And he quotes Savarkar being his Prerana Purusha, his inspiring personality. He didn't escape. The British policers were fearing to approach him, but he drops the gun and he stands there because he wanted to make a point that why did he kill Karjan Wiley? And that Madan Lal Dhingra, the kind of inspiration Veer Savarkar gave it to him, that Madan Lal Dhingra, before being taken to the gallows, there he tells that, Ma Bharati, I am not a writer. If I would have been, I am not a poet. If I would have been a poet, I would have written beautiful verses or poems in praise of you. I am not a writer. Otherwise, I would have written good articles about you. I am neither a speaker because I would have given good speech about you. I am an ordinary person. What else I can give other than my blood, other than my life? This is the way Madan Lal Dhingra speaks because of the inspiration of Veer Savarkar. Because of the inspiration of Veer Savarkar. You all know about magnet. Magnet, whichever the iron element comes in touch with the magnet makes that also magnet. The magnet converts an ordinary iron element also into a Purusha, also into a magnet, by aligning all the molecules in a single direction. And the Veer Savarkar was the greatest magnet in Indian freedom struggle because he converted every single human being who came into contact with him into a freedom fighter par excellence, with dedication. was a freedom fighter. He inspired thousands of freedom fighters. He motivated hundreds of young people to become revolutionaries, which was the biggest reason for the Indian independence. He was in regular touch with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose during Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's effort to free India from outside. And during his journey, Veer Savarkar, he was also a social reformer. It was told by all our speakers also. Built a Patita Pavan Mandir, created a business with partners from all communities. In his house, there was a servant who was from SC family who used to serve water to everybody. He made it to that. He only served water to everybody so that everybody knew that they are taking water from that person at that time. He led temple entry movements across Maharashtra, in Ratnagiri and across Maharashtra. He started the temple entry movement. So he was again a social reformer. He was a social reformer at that time itself. He was an author, he was a writer. Annamalai ji explained it, Kolala Srinivas ji explained it. I will not go into detail about it. He was a writer of par excellence. As I told you, the Veer Diksha. You have to listen to a poem, Jayastute, Sri Mahan Mangale, Shivaspade, Shubhade. You have to listen it after returning from here in Lata Mangeshkar's voice. He wrote such a beautiful poems about Bharat Mata, about freedom struggle, about the country, about the culture, which gave inspiration to millions of people. From 1883 to 1966, it was an era. But only in India, the person who contributed so much of freedom struggle can die without even a single recognition, which he didn't even expect. Because post-independence, he understood what is the quality of the ruler that we have got. He understood it. So, he didn't even expect the recognition which was due to him. Because he knew, when he was being tried to, he was tried to be implicated. When people tried to implicate him in Gandhi's murder case, he knew that what would come to him in later years. He would come. Hindu Sabha, Mahasabha was the only link between Nathuram Godse and Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Nathuram Godse was also a member of the Hindu Mahasabha once upon a time, and Veer Savarkar, he led Hindu Mahasabha. If that would have been the case to get implicated in Mahatma Gandhi's murder, then many people would have been in jail by now in Tamil Nadu also because of their many links. Other than that, nobody can find any link between Godse and Veer Savarkar, and nobody in Tamil Nadu or nobody in national kind of ecosystem or historian, they speak the truth that he was released by an order of court, absolving of all the allegations against him in Gandhi murder. Nobody tells. He was arrested, they stopped their history there. He was arrested, they stopped. No arguments, no news of his release by the court, absolving of all allegations put by the government towards him. And that was Veer Savarkar. Though post-independent, he was pushed to the margins of Indian history, Veer Savarkar, today also, he shines very brightly in the gamut of freedom fighters in our country. Friends, we too have a duty towards Veer Savarkar, not by recognizing him, but by knowing him. And can we pass this message to the next generation, how we got the freedom. First is how we lost the freedom. How we lost the freedom. Why we lost the freedom. Here I has written many books about why we lost the freedom also. And he mentioned many of the glorious pages of Indian history which we should be proud of. He was the first person, as told by Kolala Srinivas and also repeated by Rangarajan Pandey, he was the first person who did not use the word Sipai Mutiny, but who mentioned the word 1857, the first war of independence. Because we are made to believe that our war of independence started only in 1921 and 23. No, it started in 1857. He also wrote a book by naming 6 golden epochs of Indian history, right from Chanakya Chandragupta till independent struggle. The 6 golden epochs of Indian history. That also he wrote. That also we should read it. What is the duty that we have? I mentioned at the beginning that out of curiosity some people are here. Out of interest, some people are here. Out of reverence, some people are here. If you go to a small child and ask that child to name a few freedom fighter, it is very hard to find after one or two names. It is very difficult to get the third name. Our duty starts here. It doesn't end here. At Annamalai told, it doesn't end after listening to a speech or purchasing the book. When we pass on the message of freedom movement to the younger generation or the coming generation, that is the biggest work that we need to do it. That is the biggest work that we need to do it. A few words and a few stories about Subramanya Bharatiyar, a few words and a few stories about VVS Iyer, a few words and a few stories about Veer Savarkar, so that our children will be proud of our legacy and the way our forefathers, they struggled and they fought for the Indian independence. It was not got on a platter. It was not got on a platter. This book is tribute to Savarkar in Tamil. It is a tribute to Savarkar in Tamil Nadu. So this duty, every single enlightened citizen of Chennai who have come here, I request you to pass on this legacy of our freedom fight, the way our people sacrificed their life, the way they sacrificed their life, taking with a lesser value than the dust on their feet or dust on their hand. They sacrificed their life like you should hear the story of Chandrasekhar Azad to know how hard we fought for independence. I just told a single sentence of Madanlal Dhingra. But we should hear what Bhagat Singh spoke in the court. You have to hear what Bhagat Singh spoke in the court. What were the last words of Chandrasekhar Azad? How Ram Prasad Bismillah was sent to jail. We have to listen to those words. Can we pass on this legacy of the freedom struggle? Can we pass on the story of the freedom struggle to the coming generation so that they can be proud of our forefathers? This is the biggest tribute that we can offer to all the freedom fighters who have made India a free nation, and we can celebrate freedom, we can celebrate August 15. These are the people who have made it possible. Savarkar was a revolutionary. Savarkar began many organizations like Abhinav Bharata. Savarkar inspired generations of young men to become revolutionaries. Savarkar inspired lakhs of people to join army, to join navy, to join air force before freedom struggle. Because of that, when freedom came, we had some Indian soldiers also, along with many Pakistani soldiers. Because the whole of the Congress was against recruitment. The whole of Congress, including Mahatma Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru, they were against recruitment of young people into the Indian army, telling that these people will be used by Britishers in World War II. But Savarkar was a visionary who thought that the way Jinnah was moving forward, the way Muslim League was moving forward with direct action theory, and the way with which the Congress leadership was backing down on many of the time, and the way the Congress leadership at that time, it was buckling under pressure. Savarkar was a visionary who saw to it that one day there will be a case where we will not have him a soldier. He was the first person who went on a campaign so that young people got recruited into the army. Young people got recruited into Navy. Young people got recruited into Air Force. If not for him, during the emergency, during independence, our army would have been of the size which would have been hopeless. He was a person who made people enter into army so that India had a good army when we got the freedom struggle. And Savarkar was a social reformer at his time when it was very difficult to talk about many of the things that he did at that time. Savarkar was a writer par excellence who inspired many people through his pen itself. And today we have assembled here due to Dr. S.G. Surya's efforts to bring Savarkar in Tamil to you. Many of the chapters in it, it has been wonderfully designed so that it takes you forward in the journey of life journey of Savarkar, from the initial days in school to the post-independence period. We have to purchase the book. After purchasing the book, one of our elderly person in Karnataka used to tell, I purchased the book so that I can read after retirement. So not read after retirement. We have to read it now. And We have to pass on the message of Savarkar. We have to pass on the life of Savarkar. And we have to pass on the real history of freedom struggle to the coming generation is what we all can do and help H.G. Surya take the message of Veer Savarkar to every single person in Tamil Nadu across the state. And with this, I once again congratulate Dr. Surya for bringing Savarkar nearer to us in Tamil. And I thank all the speakers who opened up the life story of Savarkar in front of us in Tamil. I apologize to you that I cannot speak in Tamil. Koncha vardu, ana nalla varudilla. தலைவர் சொல்லிட்டார் 25 நிமிஷம் மட்டும் பேசினேன்னு. அந்த 25 மினிட் பேசணும், அதில் தமிழில் பேசுறது ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். ஸோ ஐ டுக் த ஹெல்ப் ஆஃப் இங்கிலீஷ். அண்ட் நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் when I come to Chennai, I hope I can deliver my address in Tamil. வணக்கம்.